those tryhards are so intense. I mean, the whole thing is just so overrated.
Yeah, I guess.
Seriously though, what's with Edward? Ooh, look at me, I'm glittery and have super gelled hair and a smoldering facial expression. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And what kind of vampire loves a human? Softy.
Okay, that movie may suck, but the books are awesome.
Okay, here's a review of Easy A.
Easy A is a comedy starring Emma Stone, Amanda Bynes, and Lisa Kudrow. In it, Olive Pendergast, played by Emma Stone, is overheard in the bathroom by the social moralist Marianne, saying she had lost her virginity. Even though the information is false, Marianne spreads the gossip and it bursts through the school like wildfire. Instead of denying it, Olive lets the lies continue and embodies Hester Prynne from Scarlet Letter by wearing an embroidered A on all of her clothes. Although not in any way truly related to the Scarlet Letter, Easy A makes a name for itself on its own. The quirky jokes, witty humor, charming and unconventional heroine makes Easy A delightful comedy for all ages. Boys, girls, old people, young people, kids, parents, I've pretty much said everybody. But let's say Emma Stone gives Olive confidence, pluck, and a little bit of wit that is refreshingly different than the run-of-the-mill sweetie pies usually portrayed in movies of this genre. Olive's parents, played by, well, let's say her father is the just incredible Stanley Tucci, gives an amazing comedic performance, not seen since his days as, let's see, I don't know, maybe The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, come on, he's not going to get nominated, but let's go with that. That's also kind of the point. Easy A knows what it is and doesn't try to be anything different, which is precisely what makes it so much fun to watch. So if you're looking for something entertaining to do on an off hour, or maybe 2, 3, get popcorn, definitely check out this Easy A. I promise you, you won't regret it.
Lauren, do you think you're as pretty as Emma Stone?
Please, I could be going on fake dates with guys for money if I wanted to.
Really? How much did you charge? I have a gas card with 13 cents on it and an expired coupon for free fries at Burger King.
Excuse me? Throw in a serving of Kirby queso and we have a deal.
Done. And now here's our guilty pleasure.
If you love bitches, Botox, and booze, then like me, you're most likely a fan of the Real Housewives franchise on Bravo. The reality series follows the fabulous lives of several wealthy socialites throughout the U.S., and they know how to bring the drama. These women have arguments about important issues like party planning, photo shoots, and fashion shows. It's even better when things get physical. A civilized dinner party can turn into an all-out brawl in less than 5 minutes, complete with name-calling, food fighting, and hair-pulling. They even crash parties at the White House. And of course, they do all this with a glass of wine or a cocktail in their hands, always keeping it classy. Now, would these women act like this if they didn't have cameras following them around all the time? Probably not, but that doesn't make it any less entertaining. No other show on television has as much backstabbing, wig-snatching, table-flipping drama as The Real Housewives. They've taken over New York City, Atlanta, D.C., and Miami is currently in production. Clearly, they won't stop until they've tarnished the reputation of every major city in the U.S. And I'll keep watching until they do.
Hey, I heard these really hilarious jokes the other day. Do you want to hear them?
Sure, tell me.
Okay, so the first one goes like this. There are these 2 muffins sitting in an oven, right?
Oh my gosh, a talking muffin, right?
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so what about this one? There are these 2 popsicles sitting in a freezer, and one looks at the other one and says...
You're serious? This is the exact same joke as the muffin one. Let me guess, the punchline is, oh my gosh, a talking popsicle.
Yeah, that was it. Okay, so I've got one more. There are these 2 olives sitting in a tree, right? And one falls out. The other olive looks down at the fallen olive and says, dude, are you okay? And the fallen olive says, it's okay, I'll live. Get it? Sounds like Olive.
Wow. Here's our interview with Aaron Sorkin at The Social Network.
Okay, so you adapted this screenplay from a book that hadn't even been published yet.
Hadn't been written yet.
Hadn't been written yet, basically, yeah.
Ben Mesrick wrote a book proposal for a book he wanted to write called The Accidental Billionaires, about the founding of Facebook. It was a 14-page book proposal that his publisher was shopping around to the movie studios in Hollywood. That's how it got in my hands.
Okay.
I was on page 3 when I said, yes, sign me up.
Yeah.
I assumed that the studio was going to say, okay, Ben will be done writing the book in about a year, and that's when you'll begin adapting it. But the studio, Sony, wanted me to begin work right away.
Yeah.
So Ben and I were working on parallel lines. We were doing our research at the same time. We were writing at the same time. Ben's faster than I am, so he gave me the galley of his book when I was about 80% of the way through with the movie. But I don't want there to be any mistake. This movie could not have happened without Ben and his book.
Right. Okay. Well, so what fascinated you about the story from that?
Honestly, the thing that fascinated me about it wasn't how modern the story was.
Right.
It was the opposite. That was the only thing bothering me about it was how modern the story was. That would stop bothering me soon. But what I loved about it were the elements that were as old as storytelling itself, of friendship and loyalty and betrayal and class and jealousy and power. These things that Aeschylus would write about, or Shakespeare would write about, or Paddy Chayefsky would write about just a couple of decades ago.
Right.
Fortunately for me, none of those guys were available, so I got to write about it.
You got it, yeah.
And all of these very classical, very ancient themes were set against this incredibly modern world of not just Facebook, but young people in the 21st century socializing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I like the whole idea of how this story could have been told thousands of years ago without the Facebook aspect.
It could
basically.
have. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
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 Facebook is almost the fact that it's a social networking device is merely what makes the whole thing incredibly ironic.
Right.
That was the invention. It wouldn't be as good a story if the invention was a really good toaster. It would have roughly the same plot, but it just wouldn't be as good. It's the irony of it being this thing that's supposed to bring us closer together.
When it tears us apart. Right. Okay. Okay. So my third question, I guess, is you say that Mark's character is basically like an anti-hero for most of the movie, and in the end, we kind of sympathize with him.
Yeah, for the first hour and 55 minutes of the movie, he's an anti-hero. For the final 5 minutes of the movie, he is a tragic hero. And what makes him a tragic hero is he's got to meet two requirements. He's got to have paid a price, and he has to feel remorse. And both those things happen in the final scene.
Right.
Somebody sent me the other day an online review of the movie that was really great, and the reviewer ended the movie by saying that the movie made her want to egg Mark Zuckerberg's house and then help him clean up.
Right.
And I thought that was perfect. If everybody leaves the movie thinking that, I'll be happy. Here's the thing, though. Not everybody's going to leave the movie thinking the same thing. There isn't going to be unanimous consensus on who was good, who was bad, who was right, who was wrong, and what the truth was.
Right.
And we want it that way. We want the arguments to happen in the parking lot.
Right. Because every character thinks they're right, or thinks that their position is
every
right.
Character thinks they're right, and our great director, David Fincher, before every scene would go to each actor quietly and say, just so you know, you're right in this scene. He's dead wrong. You're right. And then he would go to the other guy and say, hey, listen, before we start, you're the one who's right in this scene. That other guy's just wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how we got all the fireworks in these scenes.
That's great. That's awesome. Finally, I guess all I wanted to ask is, what do you think about Facebook? What do you think about this whole crazy revolution going on?
Well, to be honest, I know it seems strange because I just wrote this movie. I don't know that much about Facebook. I really don't. And what I know Facebook in 2003, 2004, more than I know Facebook in 2010.
No. Yeah.
But I would say this, that it was meant to connect us. It was meant to bring us closer together.
Right.
I look at it, and it looks to me like it's doing the opposite.
Yeah.
That socializing on the internet is to socializing what reality TV is to reality.
Right.
There's a performance quality to it. There's an insincerity to it, and you're doing it alone. You're not talking to somebody. You're not talking with somebody. You are writing at somebody. And you're doing what I do. You're writing for the sake of performance.
Right.
A wall post is meant for everybody to read. It's either meant to, I need you to know what I'm doing right now. I'm eating a sandwich right now. I just saw a bird.
Yeah.
Or to show how funny I can be when I'm angry, or what a cool take I have, on the new Black Eyed Peas CD, or that kind of thing. There's something, there's a need for public acceptance that, as a professional writer, as somebody who writes for a large audience, I can identify with.
Right.
I just don't think it should be the default setting for humans and interaction.
Okay.
That's all. But as long as you asked me the question and I answered it, I do need to add that no matter what your opinion is on the subject, if you're on Facebook, if you've never heard of Facebook, if you love Facebook, if you hate Facebook, all of that is irrelevant to whether or not you're going to like this movie.
Right, exactly. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you
really
very much.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Hey Seth, are you going to ACL?
What'd you call me?
Oh, my bad. You just look like Seth Rogen and I got bamboozled. Oh, come on, Zach. It was an honest mistake. You know, you're much more attractive than Seth Rogen. Really? Really? You're killing me, Smalls. Well, I guess we should just take a break.
Lauren, I'd just like to let you know that what you said earlier, it hurt. It hurt immensely. However, I'm willing to forgive you on one condition.
Okay, well, what is it?
Me and you, you know.
What? Are you kidding? I can't believe you, Zach.
What? I just meant blow
Ew, ew, ew,
bubbles.
ew, ew, ew.
Blow bubbles in Zilker Park.
I think we should just go to the debate. We really need to work on our communication.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Kenneth with round 2 of the debate. Today's debate, Ben Affleck versus Matt Damon. And I'm here with
Mitch, and I just want
I'm nice. Okay. I'm going to represent Ben Affleck because he stole my heart with the portrayal of Daredevil. Your thoughts? Sure you do. Ben Affleck, auteur, actor, Academy Award, writer. He's amazing.
no.
No, seriously,
Matt Damon.
if you're not prepared, it's okay. Ben Affleck, Good Will Hunting, Kevin Smith. I'm just name dropping here, so y'all can fill in the rest. But Matt Damon.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah, Jason Bourne. Good thoughts. Okay. I don't know. Ben Affleck, clearly, Daredevil is the best action movie. No, just best movie ever. I mean, a blind superhero. I mean, do you?
No.
Here, I'm sorry. You need to be prepared. Just hold the ficus. Clearly, we're not prepared tonight for this debate, so we're just going to give it to Ben Affleck. His wife's hotter. He's got kids. Matt Damon was in 30 Rock. I mean, come on. I love 30 Rock, but Tina Fey. Okay, we're done. I'm sorry. We're done. We're not. Respect my set, please. Ben Affleck is clearly the better actor.
Matt Damon, you got
Sarah Silverman? I wish I could say something, but I just can't. You need to speak up more. Ben Affleck. So, Good Will Hunting. I mean, Robin Williams pretty much carried Matt Damon that entire film. And we need to wrap up. Good thoughts today. Back to you guys.
Why do people like Jackass? I don't get what's so cool about hurting yourself for absolutely no reason.
It's because you're a woman.
But
Men demonstrate their virility and strength by maiming themselves. For example, before the show, I stabbed myself with a screwdriver for good luck.
please, I've done worse stuff in kindergarten. Last week I knitted myself a scarf out of barbed wire.
Girl, for breakfast, I had a bowl of Kellogg's marshmallows and razors.
So what? My pillow is a hornet's nest.
Well, my alarm clock is a shotgun full of rock salt.
As a kid, I played dress up with a bunch of badger babies.
Oh yeah? Last night, I sucker punched a gorilla.
Last night, I watched vampires suck.
Damn, girl, you're cool. Here's our interview with Steve-O.
Hi, I'm Pia, and I'm sitting here with the lovely Steve-O, and he's here to promote his new movie, Jackass 3D. How are you today, Mr. O?
I am doing great, Pia. Thank you.
Cool. I guess we can just start off with talking about the new film. I'm really excited to see it, not only because it's the third installment of the Jackass series, but with the whole literal in-your-face concept of
Yeah.
the whole 3D thing. So does Jackass translate pretty well to
Sure.
3D film?
If you ask me, Jackass is what 3D was made for.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, it absolutely is the case. We really took advantage of all the technology that this world has to offer. And yeah, it's really wild.
Right, so I'm assuming you were conscious of the 3D camera the entire time. Was there anything
I was
specifically?
conscious of just about everything.
Right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Was there anything specifically you did for the 3D effect, or was there anything different about filming it with this type of camera?
I can't say that the 3D element altered our sense of humor at all. Like, this stuff that we did, we would do anyway. But the way that we did it, I mean, as far as directing stuff into the camera so that ultimately it would be coming out into the audience, we definitely made a point to do that.
Cool. So did you create any stunts specifically for that effect?
Just about like, I mean, I've been known for vomiting quite a bit. I think that's kind of why my voice is so messed up. I was able to vomit on the world's most expensive camera, a 3D Phantom camera. Do you know what a Phantom camera is? Mm-mm. It shoots 1,000 frames per second. So it reveals all kinds of stuff that you would never realize that happens when the body is traumatized.
Right. So wait, is that how you were able to vomit on it? Was this?
No, that was just a different deal. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like, and we shot it in 3D too. So.
Right. So do we get to see any 3D vomit or
sure you do.
Other like
Absolutely.
bodily functions and body parts? Because I know that's always been a theme of Jackass.
Right. You're not going to get to see as many body fluids as these 3 girls did in my hotel room last night. but there are a lot of body fluids.
Cool. So, I mean, how are you topping the stunts that you guys have done in the past 2 movies? Like, how do you even think of them? And are you even close to running out of any ideas?
One night, I had a dream where we were on set in my dream, and they were drawing onto my face with a Sharpie marker a dartboard. And I was just remember waking up in the morning thinking, oh, that's so gnarly, but I can't think of any reason not to do it. Granted, there are many good reasons not to turn your face into a dartboard, but I couldn't say that any of those reasons involved paralysis or death. And so that meant that, by my rule, my approach to this movie was that I didn't want to mess around with paralysis or death. But if those weren't a concern, then I'm in. Sign me up. I'm down. Let's do it. Right. I was really eager to be involved in it as much as I could, and for me, it was important to me to prove to myself and everyone else that sobriety hasn't made me into a lame, boring guy.
Right.
So.
Congratulations, by the way. I think it's 2.5 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
So what's it like now doing stunts? Is it any different being sober? Or is it more painful?
It's not any easier to do this stuff sober, but like I said, I really wanted to prove myself. I wanted to prove that I still had it in me. So I was like more apprehensive, but more eager to do it all. So, it's a pretty rad dynamic.
I mean, I think that's what everyone loves about you, just your eagerness and willing to do things, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I didn't want to do it, but I did want to do it. So it's just like I was conflicted a lot of the time, and more than ever, I was dreading stuff, but doing it anyway, really feeling everything, really present and aware of how bad the ideas were. So I'm in this movie more than I was in either of the first 2. And my contributions are ridiculous. Yeah, it's a good movie. Everyone's going to love it.
Cool. I mean, I saw in the trailer you were in a porta potty being launched in to the air. What were the instant consequences of that? Was that pretty painful?
I had been intending to take flight in a porta potty for a number of years. I had always pictured it being a potty drop, where I was up and and then we would drop the porta potty. I didn't think that we were actually going to launch it from underneath, but the same result. It was great. Yeah.
Okay, I guess talking more about the movie, like your co-stars, what's the relationship like between you guys? Is it what it looks like, just guys having fun and goofing off, or is it more professional than it looks like?
It's much more deep and profound than that. Guys just having fun goofing around. Come on, we're artists.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's a great art. And
there's so much more to it than that, Pia.
And I'm definitely getting to understand that now. So that's about the time we have. Is there anything, maybe you want to sum up the movie in 5 words? I know you don't want to give it away, so there's like...
Jackass 3D. 5 words. And in your face.
Thank you so much, Steve. It was a pleasure having you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Pia.
Oh, my apologies. I was just merely brushing up on my Spanish. So you come to join me on another night of the most watched segment on television in a 1-mile radius. Old school. Tonight we'll be changing it up a bit. I know how you young rascals like variety. As you may know, 2 admired brothers by the last name Cohen are remaking the classic film True Grit. The leading man in this Western is a man you may have heard of, John Wayne. If you haven't heard of John Wayne, I'm going to assume you're a child who's staying up past their bedtime, and even you I'm judging a bit. Anyways, in the midst of my frustration towards someone trying to replicate the immeasurable amount of badass that is John Wayne, I was inspired to look back on the man's legend and decided to do exactly that. Here, tonight, with you. John Wayne was such an icon, the word cowboy or western is as much associated with him as, say, handsome or distinguished are associated with myself. If Chuck Norris were to have looked at John Wayne the wrong way, he would have wet himself. He's the only man that Clint Eastwood was afraid of. Such great films like Searchers, Stagecoach, The Cowboys, Big Jake, The Shootist, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and of course True Grit would surely not be nearly as epic without his presence. John's voice was so rugged women would perspire at its mere use. A man once called him Jonathan and would have done it again if he had survived for the first time. I once went to him with a minuscule worry, and he replied to me, "Life is tough, but it's even tougher when you're stupid." To bring this inspiring lesson to a close, I'll leave you with these words of wisdom. Yeah, shut up. When you're feeling a little egotistical or full of yourself, something I'm afraid I can't relate to, watch a John Wayne film, and he'll put you in your place.
That's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah, see you guys next week. It was fun, Lauren, wasn't it?
It was great. We should do
Yeah.
it again sometime.